I thought the bathroom floor was just going to be nice and easy, come out, bish bash bosh, boards in. But yeah, forgetting it's a bathroom. There's a lot of pipes that need run. There's a lot of other things that you need to do. I'm at this stage now. I was just putting this board down here. I wanted a smaller section here just because I didn't know if this was going to be nice and tight or not. So I've had to rip it. It'd be easier doing that rather than having a big sheet. So I've done this one here first. And actually it was pretty square to be fair, so that's good. So I've managed to get these pipes in. I know it looks like a bit of a guddle here, but this is where I am going to tee into the actual main house for the feed water and the radiators. So I'm just running everything to here now. I've got plenty of space behind the wall, so loads of room for that. I am going to make some little clips just to keep these two pipes apart. For condensation purposes, I think it'll be better if they're just kept, you know, a wee bit apart. So we'll get that done and I can come back off. But for now, it is looking okay. Currently, I'm under the floor and I'm running the cable for the internet. It's funny the things you find under a floor. A chair. I need to find my way through the floor and to roughly where the router is, which is all the way over there. It's looking a bit like Spaghetti Junction under here with all the cables and stuff, but we're here. I have this Cat 6 cable. This is for running the internet out to the garage. Now in here, there's no Wi-Fi signal from the main house. So from there, I will run this into a access point, which will give me Wi-Fi in the garage, and also I'll run it into a 5-way splitter. So therefore, I then have multiple ports that I can connect into for other things like a PlayStation, Xbox, etc, etc, and I can also get like a wired connection for the TV, which just means the internet speed's top notch. Now, after running this cable, the only thing I'm a bit concerned about is it is quite close to the fuse box, so the interference in it might be an issue. I'm hoping it's not, but it could well be. Right, I was having a panic moment there, and I just checked, and apparently fuse boxes don't give off a lot of electromagnetic interference, so therefore the Cat 6 cable should be okay. We're hoping. So after panicking about the Ethernet cable situation, I decided I actually better do something. So I thought, let's get the plywood cut and try and get the bathroom floor done. So just got the board cut, tried to put it down, and it seemed a little high at this end. So I was just looking, and yeah, this bit here for some reason is sitting high. So I'm gonna have to get this out and see what the problem is. Now, I was awfully curious as to what was causing this, but turned out it was just a bit of DPC that had folded back under itself, so once it was lifted, it was an easy enough fix. When we done the floor, it was pretty bang on, so I wasn't too concerned, and it was an easy enough fix. Got the plywood back down, got it all fixed in, and the floor was plumb. Next up, I decided to lift the boards I'd already put down. Thankfully these weren't screwed, but I wanted to get the Cat 6 cable ran to the other side of the room along with the subwoofer cable. Now, before I started running this cable, I made sure there wasn't tangled in any wires and it would be nice and easy to pull through. Just got it all pulled through. Idiot. When I was ordering the speaker cable, I messaged the company that I was ordering this stuff from and asked them what they recommended. Now, to me, speaker cable is just speaker cable, but when I asked them, they recommended this stuff that was £6 a metre. Now, I had stuff in the basket that was like $1.98 a metre, and yeah, this was the stuff they recommended. I did ask ChatGPT and it agreed. However, I've now, since I've messed up, which I'll get to in a second, I've asked it again, and I don't know if it's just playing the sympathy card, but it says that it's just exactly the same, and for the short runs, I'm not going to hear a difference. So, yeah, almost 30 quid down the drain. Now, for the same price pretty much, I got all of this. 20 metre run, and to be fair, this stuff actually looks like a much better cable. It's a lot thicker, it's got pink coating on it, it looks good.
Yeah, boy.
Now, this it was originally for the bathroom speaker, so from the amplifier I am going to run a second channel to the bathroom, which means if my phone's connected up I can just like play music and that when I'm in the shower or whatnot. So that was for this. Now I think I should have enough to do the runs from where the receiver's going to be up to where the speakers are. I'm hoping. Well, I thought 4 meters would have been enough for the expensive stuff, but apparently it's not, so I need a little bit more. Kind of like the subwoofer situation. The cable is borderline too short, but I might try and make it work. Now that other cable will do for something else, but for this, I'm going to run this cable and see what I can do.
A few moments later.
Right, speaker cable is done. Left myself plenty down here. Well, I've left myself all this, but yeah, the subwoofer, I'll have that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be fine. And it's run up here, run up, and one to the bathroom. I've got plenty at this end for the speaker. Now it can be moved about. I've got a little bit to play with. So yeah, happy days.
So up to this point in the project, I haven't had much of a chance to get overly creative. So on this night I was feeling especially creative, so I decided I'd make a start on the wardrobe. Now I have a rough idea in my head of how I want this to look, but for the most part I am kind of just winging it and seeing what looks best, and I can chop and change things as I please. So this is me just building the frame and just kind of getting the rough structure of what I'm wanting, and kind of just getting a feel for how it's going to work and how it's going to come together.
I've been doing the wardrobe, and I've kind of, as I've been building, I've been like, oh, this is going to look proper shady, just for using like rough cut timber and whatnot. But I've kind of taken a step back for a second, and bear in mind, I've got a vision in my head, and it's just me rattling off. I've not like modelled this as such yet. I might go in and do it. I actually quite fancy modelling it to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. But in my head, this is the vision. And now I've stepped back, I'm kind of like, I can see it. And it doesn't look that shady. It actually looks quite good. So the plan is shoes at the side. I'm going to do something quite fancy there. So shoes at the side. This is going to be like 2 cupboards that will open up, and then you can go in so you have access to the fuse box. I would hate to be the electrician that's going to be wiring this up, but that's his problem. And then, yeah, so storage under there, access to the fuse box. I'm going to have drawers on top, and then a section here with a rail for my clothes. And then maybe a mirror on this side. But yeah, that is the frame kind of partly done.
Now, I know anyone watching this is going to be thinking, Ryan, you've lost the plot, mate. It's just bits of wood screwed together. But bear with me, it will come together and it will start to make sense soon. So the next day, me and my dad decided to try and get cracked on doing some of the insulation. Now I had thought about putting DPC on this wall, however it is an internal wall now with the main house, so I figured it wouldn't need it. Now doing the insulation was not a job I was looking forward to. It's very time consuming, and see when the bloody board doesn't fit, it's a pain in the arse. But we worked our way through it, and one piece at a time, it slowly but surely started to come together. To top it all off, we managed to get up a couple of sheets of plasterboard, but again, another job that I am dreading. Then to finish up, just as everything was going so well, disaster struck.
Over the last couple of days, there hasn't really been much interesting happening. It's just been a case of me moaning, putting up rock wool and putting up plasterboard. It's been horrendous. I've probably put in a couple of time lapses just to kind of show the little bits I've done. But other than that, there's nothing overly exciting, so I didn't really video much. And I kind of just wanted to get on with it because it's a hellish job. But as it stands, the roof is just about done. We've got this little bit here. Now, I ain't a master of plasterboard, I'm not a joiner, but I figured to stagger this bond, it would be better putting this little bit in here rather than a piece at the end, which would mean a big line from here down here. Now I don't know if that's right. I'm going to assume so. This might make it awkward because you've kind of got like 2 tapers into like a flat edge almost, but I was thinking splitting the bond's better than having a big long line. I don't know if that's right. So I've just been doing the insulation on the TV wall, and I thought I would stop for a second because I wanted to discuss something here. In the past, when I've been fiddling about with cars and whatnot, and I've been doing speakers, I remember that it's always better to have speakers inside boxes, just for like, you know, reduced sound leakage and a controlled environment, and the speaker kind of operates more as the manufacturer intended, rather than just having it in like an open cavity. You could get echoes and blah 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 blah. So it's come to these bits here, speaker 1 and speaker 2. Now I'm not sure how well this will work, but in my head I'm thinking if this bit of insulation is here, which is pretty good like acoustically anyway, if I then tape around the sides, this then like makes a solid sealed box as such. So I'm thinking this could work, rather than building something, you know, out of like fiberglass or whatever. I think this option could work. Now I don't know the sound properties of insulation, something worth checking, but I'd assume it's pretty good for just like being quite acoustic and not letting the sound echo through the wall or behind it and whatnot. So I think this could work. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Now, taping these was a right pain in the arse, but I think they look good. I think they're not looking too shabby if you ask me. I think they'll work fine. I might have to put something in it to kind of fill the space because the speakers aren't overly big. They're not 1.2 big, but yeah, I think for what it is, it should do the job. Now I think in the last video I was kind of working on the bathroom. I haven't done much in there since that last video. It's kind of become a bit of a dumping ground for everything else at the moment, just until I get the rest of the plasterboard sorted. But on that note, I am going to call an end to this video because I've done loads in this video. It's going to end up being far too long. So for now, that is it, and next time it'll probably just be more plasterboarding, and do you know what, might get back onto the wardrobe and start building that up again, and then get onto the bathroom and get cracked on with some other stuff. So can't wait to get a bit more creative with things. Just now I feel like it is just basic kind of stuff, so I'm looking forward to getting creative. So stay tuned for more. Peace.